Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we begin, we'll need to go through our obligatory risk disclosure here. Just want to remind everyone that the content being published and distributed by the Market Trader is to be used as general information only. None of the information contained herein is to be treated as general information only. It is not intended as investment advice or an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company and its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, it's going to flash the disclosure here one last time here just to make sure that it did come across. We'll go ahead and turn our attention to the financial news portal and see what kind of news we have in store that could potentially impact the markets. Right. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. So moving into our financial portal, we can see that we have a fair amount of news coming up here in the next hour. We have PCE price index year over year, month over month. We have consumer spending month over month. We have personal income month over month reporting, all coming in here at 8:30 Eastern time. We have PMI coming in, Chicago PMI coming in at 9:45, and then we have some views on inflation from Michigan coming in at 10 a.m. And if that wasn't enough, we have some more inflationary numbers coming in later, also coming in at that same time as 10 a.m. So fair amount of news today, okay, that could potentially impact the markets. As you can see here that all these news events are either red or orange, indicating that they have a fair amount of impact or good amount of impact here on the markets. All right. So now that we've gotten through the news, let's go ahead and turn our attention to our platform, and specifically, let's take a look at the market here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up our platform here. So just going to move this over here so it's visible here. All right, let's finish that here, and then let's go ahead and start. We're going to go ahead and start with the gold here, but want to just make sure get this chart up, and then we'll get started. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead. Like I said, we're turn our attention over to the the markets. Okay. And the market we're going to take a look at first here is, let's see, we have a couple of. Okay, I think I got it. Just want to make sure I have the right market. Yeah, I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with the daily chart here of the gold market. All right, so this one in particular is not good here. Let's see. I can open this up here. Okay. All right, this looks a little bit better. All right, well, go ahead. We're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart. So you can see here that looks like we are the market continues to advance. Okay, on the daily chart, we are coming up against an area where we could see some resistance. This is an area that was a kind of a reversal, kind of island top that we had discussed, and everyone, the thought was that we were going to make maybe a more significant move here to the downside. So right now we're back at that level. We're back at that 34.80 level, and we are developing a little bit of a bearish candle, okay, up against this area here. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this here a little bit. Just kind of maybe get closer here to these to the open here, okay. Try to maybe get as many of these candles as I can. So you can see here that we are up against the highs of this market. We have some price action above, but I generally like to capture as many of the bodies here as I can, and this is kind of how I've kind of arrived at sort of this ascending wedge pattern that we've developed. Now, again, we've been in some sort of consolidation pattern. We have a developing bearish candle at the moment, and an otherwise instrument that's been in some sort of range here. Okay. Moving down to the 4-hour chart, again, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range here. Okay. And you can see here of late that the market, in anticipation of some of this news today, has been retracing here a bit. Okay. So while the market has been retracing, it's still very much inside somewhat of a bullish channel here to the upside here. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and adjust this to kind of capture as many of the bodies as I can here. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do just that here. Let's see. Okay. So here we have the bodies here on the bottom. I'd like to see if I can get some of these candles here below me to kind of give me a better picture of this bullish channel here. Yeah, something along those lines seems to be in order here. Okay, so you can see that we are in a bullish channel, even with the set of bearish candles that we've had. We really haven't broken any significant structure here to the downside. We have a supportive area here down around 34.50, maybe 34.52. It seems to be a supportive area. So the move that we seems to be quite a bit controlled. Okay, unlike some of the bullish moves that we've had of late. So indicating that there's still maybe probably a fair amount of momentum here to the upside here. I'm going to go ahead and remove the drawings now. I'm going to go ahead and move down to the 30-minute chart and take a look at what the 30-minute chart is offering us here. And so you can see here that while we've been in some sort of bearish channel, it has been, I would say, more of the retracement variety than of the initiative variety. We have made some higher, lower lows and lower highs in this market, but we are coming into some areas where we could have the potential of seeing maybe some a bullish participation in this market. Okay, so this area here around 34, let's say 34.68, 34. Actually, even a little bit lower than that. I would say 34.60 seems to be a reasonable area. Maybe below that, maybe 34.55. And then down this prior level of settlement here around 34.50 all seem to offer maybe some locations where we could find some potential buyers. Okay, so again, this feels like more of a retracement. We'll go ahead and maybe identify maybe some levels here. So we are coming off of maybe potentially, let's adjust this here a little bit. So maybe we're coming off the 38.2% retracement of this. We have some the 50% just below here at 34.61, and then we have the 61.8% right around here at 34.57. All levels that could maybe provide us a location for reversal in current price action. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile. We'll do a little bit of volume analysis on this market. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the open of Thursday here. Okay, there you have it. And then take that across to the close of Thursday, right about there. Okay, so you can see that we are in value. As I mentioned, that we do have a fair amount of news here coming. So again, another level of interest, I would say, is the value area low from the prior day of trading here, down around here at 34.63. Could offer us maybe a nice location. And sure enough, we are getting a little bit of a maybe 3-bar reversal pattern. That's being established here just before the open of the market. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to kind of take a look here at the initial balance ranges here for the various markets. There it is. Okay, Just kind of curious to see what Tokyo was able to do with this. And so Tokyo was able to take the market lower. London, for now, still in the London market here. London also is kind of extended to the downside, but has created maybe more of a failed auction kind of pattern here. Okay, potentially offering us maybe an opportunity that would lead us back to the other side of the initial balance range. Okay, so with maybe a little over a little under an hour before the market opens. Here we have maybe a situation where we could be getting a little bit of a reversal away from value area low. Okay, so I would say that right now, headed into the market, it does appear that we might be a little bit on the bearish side, given the fact that we are below VWAP. Okay, sentiment is bearish, but we are coming into an area for potential reversal in price. Okay, this value area low could offer us maybe a reference level that we can use to offer us maybe a further move to the upside. Now, really to embrace the longs, we really need to get above. Again, if we draw my channel here, really need to get above this channel here to the upside to really begin to embrace the longs here. So right around 3470 based on this channel seems to be a level that we need in order to see any sort of significant move in this market. Okay, we are and continue to be in some larger bullish structure here. Okay, you can see on the left hand side, but of late we've been in some sort of bearish channel, bearish retracement of sorts. Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. We'll take a look at the crude oil market in the same light here, and we'll start off with the daily chart here. Okay, and see what the daily chart has to offer us. Been in some sort of consolidation range, as you can see. I would say probably a little bit more in the way of maybe a change in character. We had a little bit of a reversal here. You can see that we've created a little bit of a demand zone down below. Okay, assuming that we can hold that level, maybe it spells maybe better times for the crude oil market. We still have this 65 level that we need to get above in order to continue to maintain what appears to be the beginnings of a maybe higher high, higher low kind of pattern in this market. Okay. Otherwise, if we are not able to make a new high here at 65, then that could potentially lead us to another leg lower in this market. Okay. This could be kind of what I'm seeing, and that would be a little bit more aligned to with the structure that we're seeing in this market. All right. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see again, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance here. You can see that we are in some sort of range here of late, okay, since the close of the session, not really making any serious advance in either direction. The more range kind of price action of late, okay. There's that 65 level that looks like we're having a little bit of trouble getting above, okay. So again, this is either going to continue to range, or maybe offer us maybe another opportunity here for maybe another leg here to the downside, given the sort of the series of candles here. If we are going to turn bullish, obviously 65 is a level that we need to get above, and that would create that higher high that we are looking for to kind of give us the view that maybe there's more upside in this market. Otherwise, this feels like, again, that maybe that we are just maybe focused in a little bit on a retracement here, and this is just maybe a larger move that it could happen here in the crude oil market. Okay, so let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Again, 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of prior volume analysis here, and we're going to take a look here at the prior session here. There it is. We'll drag this across to the close right about there. Okay, and you can see that we're on the upper end of value from yesterday. Okay, so right now, if I kind of extend this line here, we can see that we are above it. Okay, but it's being met with a lot of opposing price, right? A lot of participants on both sides. Actually, we're seeing that we're getting participant on the buy and sell side. These wicks obviously don't really bode well, I guess, necessarily for a continuation move to the upside. Feels like the market wants to continue to stay in range here. Maybe there's another leg to the downside in this market before we move higher. Now, looking at this, I think this is probably the result of some maybe post action that we got maybe in the this is EIA potentially, maybe prior to, but nice bullish move here in yesterday's session. And now it seems like we are maybe slightly more bullish kind of structure here. We still remain inside this candle here to the upside. Okay. So if I do my little Fibonacci retracement analysis here, and I take the bottom of this candle, move this all the way up here, you can see that we've bounced a couple of times away from the 61.8% extension. Okay. Not once, but twice, and a third time. So the question now becomes, is this going to cause the market to rally? Okay. If so, we're going to stay above this value area high level. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take a quick look here at what the initial balance ranges are telling us. London is really not telling us much of anything as to the direction. We're kind of in range. Looking at Asia here, also, let's see, also appears to be in some sort of range here. Okay, we did make an extension to the upside and then kind of had a failed auction to the other side, but then we've been kind of waffling in and out of the initial balance range throughout the session. So not really a clear direction here in this market. Again, looking at London again, you can see maybe we might be developing a little bit of an extension here to the upside in this market. You can see that we have a buying wick above our VWAP. Okay, really need to close above this initial balance range to really begin to embrace maybe a future long here in this market. All right, so headed into the session, I would say I would remain kind of neutral, maybe neutral to bullish. I would say. We are at an area of importance or area maybe that we need to make a decision here that could lead to maybe a future price advance in this market. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ and move on to some of the other equity markets here. We're looking at the daily here. You can see that we're developing a bearish candle here at the moment in a structure that really, again, continues to be more of a consolidating kind of structure than anything else here. You can see that we have this kind of pattern going on right now, kind of a little diamond kind of pattern that we're seeing on the daily chart in the NASDAQ. If we move down to the 4-hour chart, more of the same, but more candles. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove our initial balance range here. You can see that we are in some sort of consolidation pattern, and maybe in a bullish leg of that pattern. We've come up to an area that looks like has found some sellers here at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if we are able to continue this path to the downside. We do have a fair amount of news that's coming that could cause the markets to move here. Okay, so if we are going to remain in this bullish pattern, well, we're going to need to stay inside this channel. Okay, if we can't stay in this channel and we break below it, maybe it offers us maybe an opportunity for another leg to the bearish side in this market. Okay, so we did have, just similar to the crude oil market, we had a nice push to the upside. We have not really been able to retrace much of that move, and we continue to grind to the upside in this market. So right now, as long as we're inside this channel, our view needs to remain bullish, right? But there are maybe some signs that we could maybe potentially get a leg lower in this market. Okay, so looking at the 30-minute chart, you can see that price is below our VWAP. We're developing a little bit of a kind of a consolidation pattern here. The markets, I'm gonna go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. So if I look at the markets, if I look at the initial balance range, you can see that London is this London? Yeah, London is we had an extension lower. I would expect that the same is true of Asia here. Asia also offered us a leg lower, I believe. Okay, so a couple of legs lower here in both London and Asia. So a fair number of sellers in this market. We are a bit extended to the downside, so would not surprise me if we were to come back maybe to the VWAP before we continued our trek to the downside. Okay, so market does appear to be a bit bearish, as we head into the session. All right, looking at the ES here, again, similar kind of vein. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily. Daily also similar to what we were seeing. Again, we are developing a little bit of a wedge pattern here. Again, trying to understand exactly which direction do they plan to take this market here. Right now, we continue to create higher highs and higher lows in this market. But again, this wedge pattern is going to help me understand that, well, how long is this move to the upside going to take continue, right? There's going to be a point here at the apex of this move that could provide maybe a nice move to the downside. All right, taking a look at the 4-hour here. Looking at the 4-hour, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance here for a moment. You can see that we are developing a little bit of a rounding top here up at the highs, losing a little bit of maybe momentum to the upside in this market. Again, you see another little smaller wedge pattern, maybe the same wedge pattern that we've been seeing and witnessing on the daily with some more candles. We're coming into an area here that I guess really needs to remain supportive if we are going to continue this bullish move to the upside. We need to hold above this 64.81 or 64.80 level to really continue this higher high, higher low pattern that we've experienced of late. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, again, we are again in this pattern of lower lows, lower highs. We are a bit extended, much like the NASDAQ, to the downside, coming into an area where we could find some support. Really, the support up till now has not been all that great. To be honest, okay, we did get a little bit of reaction away from this level, but has not really generated anything in the way of an impulsive move back to the upside. The impulse seems to be to the downside, and what it feels like that maybe we are kind of in another leg, potential leg down to the downside here, right? So we have a lot of overlapping candles, a lot of range kind of price action at the moment with a number of sellers in this market. All right, so looking at the initial balance, Tokyo is to the downside, or actually Asia to the downside. London also giving us an extension to the downside. Okay, so a lot of sellers in this market at the moment. Okay, VWAP here around 64. What's that? 60, 65, 6,500, 6,503. Offers us a nice location maybe to participate in this downside move. Should we get something along those lines, that would be a nice reference level for the market to continue to the downside and allow traders to participate in a downside move. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at the last market before we do our final review across all the markets here. Daily, similar kind of price action. We are developing similar kind of wedge pattern that we've discussed here with some of these other markets. We'll just go ahead and quickly draw these. Okay, you can see that we are developing some sort of kind of wedge pattern here in this market. Okay, so the question now becomes, which direction is the market going to take this? Is it going to follow the path it's followed in the past and create another leg to the upside, or is this going to be the wedge pattern that maybe creates a bit of a move to the downside? We'll have to see over the course of the next few days. Looking at the 4-hour, okay, kind of doing a little bit more. Again, you can see that we're kind of drilling into some of these candles here. Okay, so you can see that again, that same ascending wedge pattern that's developing. Looks like we were creating a little bit of a supply area up above here, right around this level here. So this is an area of supply that it's kind of developing. I see some rejection away from this area. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that as maybe a little bit of a supply zone that could eventually maybe provide another leg lower here. Okay, so maybe retest the bottom of this wedge pattern, and then maybe around let's see, 45,000, let's say 540. Okay, and then that could provide us yet another maybe swing back to the upside. If we happen to break that level, well, that opens the door for 45,000. Okay, 45,000 with a stop in between of 45,300. So this area right here, around this trend line that I've drawn here as part of the larger ascending wedge, could provide us a location either to participate in a long or maybe the beginnings of a short here. Okay, now market is not, looking at the 30-minute chart, market is not quite as extended to the downside actually has kind of rallied here a bit. Again, coming into this area that I mentioned on the other markets, this area around the VWAP, that could provide us a location for maybe a continuation trade to the downside. Okay, so we're going to drag this over here. Okay, so you can see that we're at the edge of value here. Okay, right here. So if I go ahead and extend this line, you can see that we're at value area low. We just came inside of it. Looks like maybe we might have gotten some buyers kind of stepping into this market, but we are still remaining in some sort of bearish structure here. You see that price remains below our VWAP. So again, this could offer us maybe a location potentially to participate in a downside move in this market. Should price get above VWAP, okay, then it opens up the door that we can maybe get up to 45,600 and maybe ultimately to the highs of this value range. Okay, so similar to the other equity markets, I would say that my view of the Dow remains bearish, mainly because of the fact that we still remain below VWAP. We have come into an area here where we could see a reversal in price, but until we get above VWAP, my view kind of remains a bit to the bearish side. Okay, let's now take a look and work our way across all the various markets here. Okay, so again, we are seeing, I guess, similar to what we were seeing a little bit, although I would say they were getting a much stronger reaction away from value area low here. We are in this bearish channel and otherwise kind of bullish price structure. So I would say that probably looking more bullish, I would say, in the market here, in the gold market. Okay. But I'm not going to let my kind of view here. I'm going to need to wait for some sort of price event to indicate as such, because we are technically inside a bearish channel at the moment. So if I'm going to participate in a long side trade, I need price to break this channel to the upside with volume, and then maybe get a retest of that same area in order for me to participate in a long side trade. Otherwise, this could just be maybe a move, right, to wipe out some of the hopeful sellers before it makes this move lower. Okay, so right now I would say headed into the market, I'm a bit on the bullish side in the gold. Looking at the crude oil market, I think I would say I'm going to remain neutral to bullish. Again, we are above the value area high, but I'm really not excited by all these wicks. Okay, all these wicks that we're seeing at the tops of these candles here. Okay, really not giving us any indication. Really not giving us an indication there's necessarily any strength necessarily in this move here to the upside. Okay, the fact that we have these wicks is giving me a little bit of pause that maybe eventually we fail. Right, if we're not able to make a new high, then ultimately the auction is going to kind of try to find some buyers, and the way they do that is by moving price lower. Okay, so I would say that maybe I am I guess until we get back inside, maybe more neutral than anything else here in the crude oil market. Looking across on the NASDAQ and other markets here. So again, NASDAQ, I would say that we remain in some sort of bearish structure in the market. I would say that until we get above VWAP, that I would remain in that kind of posture or that kind of view. We have a fair number of sellers in this market, and I would say that as of now, it appears to be bearish. Okay, all right. Looking at the ES, similar kind of look and feel. We've kind of identified a couple of locations here: 6504, maybe offering us a location, maybe to participate in a downside move. If we're not interested in participating at current levels, okay, that would be a logical place maybe to participate. And then lastly, the Dow is also, okay, the Dow kind of making its way back to the VWAP here again, maybe offering us something here around 45,600. That again for another continuation move. Okay, to the downside. So I would say that across the board, I would say that we're probably looking a little bit on the bearish side in the equities, looking maybe bullish on the gold, and I would say neutral overall in the crude oil market. So with that said, we'll go ahead and close off this session as we close all sessions. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader.